I think we're live. YouTube is suggesting I run an ad. That tells me we're live. Ugh, my coffee is... I like it, but the rubber gets it a little caught in my little cup cozy, which helps keep it warm. Oh, what's up, Chris T, Skyprop, Ben Coombs, Strat CPO. Chris, Ken, Gary, Davlin, Majestic, PB and J Cat. We got Dennis, we got Fearless Head, Thunder Falcon Coots, Deanna, Matt, Eric, Graphite, Richard, Zoots, Zach, The Shape, Kevin, J Shaft, Double R Guitar, Terry Clark, Larry John, Yeti Mossy. What's up, Speak Up? Got Timothy, we got Vimps, got Frank, we got Ronnie, we got Rob, we got WJ Cooper. We got Patrick, we got Sammy, Eric, Martian Murray, Mike, Muvo, Scott, Retro Puffer, Jeff, C9, Terry 3G, Dan, Ed, Jeff, Yeti Motzi. Got Mike, got BC Rich, Mr. Mike, Mr. Mick, Andrew, Vapin Fagan, and Bill. We got David Tactical, Six String, we got Calvin. What's up, Ian? What's up, Rick, Max, Eric, Frank, Tim, Quentin. They're all here. Everybody's here. What's up, Dead Reckoning? What's up, old Ogre Lord? Good evening, David. What's up, Eric? Jim? Another Bill? Another Thunder Falcon. You're on the road watching. Well, pay attention to the road. Nothing but rain, yeah. Sounded good. Rearrange his tier. Nice. We'll be getting a Badlands for review. I don't think this first batch, no, because they already sold out of the run. They don't really need any more promotion. Maybe the next run, though. I think they're going to do this whole run, get them out to people. And then, you know, in the weeks or months after that, announce their second run. So maybe the second one. Who knows? But, you know, it's like I don't think they need really any promotion for that first run. This is a pretty good guitar, actually. I would say of all the low-cost ones, you know, the Eert stuff is some of the better of the sub 400 genre. Now, Donners, when they get expensive, they get really nice. But, you know, actually, that Telly, I think, is like 99 bucks. It's crazy. But that one, the pickups are pretty, you know, pretty weak. I feel like you could, and the bridge isn't like the thickest bridge you've ever seen. You know, putting a new bridge and a new set of pickups in it, but that's, I think, a $99 guitar. Oh, yeah. But this one, just out of the box, I thought was, you know, pretty good. But these are more expensive, right? These are, isn't this like $350? Which is, you know, that's $1 million in the low-cost guitar market. When they say low cost, they mean low cost. Haven't really played that much this week. You can hear it right there. Yeah, this is like a metallic green. I kind of like it. You know, it's good, kind of like a candy apple, and it's got a roasted maple neck, and you can coil cut like I just did right there. So here. Yeah, do the coil cut. Yeah, no, I do like this guitar. That's why I haven't sold it. That's why this one still sticks around, or giving it away. It's one of the two. Yeah, right. Yeah, easy truss adjust with the wheel. The old wheel of truss. Yeah, no, the neck is great actually. It's it's just a roasted maple. Nothing fancy about it, but it's roasted. It comes with this handsome past quality control sticker. It's got that going for it. Yeah, DOD back in stock on Sweetwater. I know, it's crazy. So yeah, we can talk about that really quickly. Let me see if I can call the story up. I don't know if you saw the news. Let me just go here, and then here, and then here. Yeah, and then here. And here we are. Let me just make that full size. So, this story broke a couple days ago. DOD is back. And of course, they're coming out with the DOD Overdrive Preamp 250 as one of their first pedals. They're bought by Cort and the Tech Corporation. And they're also going to revive the Digitech line. So DOD is back. As you might have known, DOD sort of went out. Who was it? Behringer that bought the brand? I forget now. Somebody owned them, and they went out. And nobody knew what was going to happen to DOD. Maybe DOD was gone forever. But no, DOD is coming back to market. Being built by the Tech Corporation of court guitars fame. And they're going to be doing Digitech stuff as well. So I had, let me think now. Might have to go find a pick here. ESP 128 images. Yeah. So this was, I never really owned DOD. Never really was a DOD guy. I had a Boss and Ibanez were primarily my, I might have had a DOD pedal, but I don't think so. I think I was MXR. I was Boss, MXR, and Ibanez with the three brands, because that's really what the store that was close to me carried. You know, back in those days, that's pretty much what limited your availability of stock, what your local retailer carried. But this was my first a Digitech product right here. The DSP 256. That's a 256 Plus. Yeah, that's when I had the black front. DSP 128. And then, at some point, I got the 256. Yep. Yeah, with the remote. With the little friggin' hand remote. I'm like a studio now. I have like this hand remote, like digital effects, multi-effects, bro. Holds 256 presets. Yeah, that's right. And then at another point, and I still have this one, the DSP 256 XL, which I think allowed more effects or more of the same type of effect, right? Because you were limited in your effects by, right, with the 256. I think the 256 XL, I thought it either added more effects or how the effects could be played simultaneously. Like removed, like you couldn't do two of the same effect and now you could. But no more than two or something like that. It was like so crazy. And then I wound up getting, and I still have that. Yeah. I still have that DSP 256 or 256 XL. It's in a rack somewhere. And then I have one of these. It's in the same rack. That's a Digitech Valve Effects. I played through that just with plugged in, turned the speaker simulator on, and ran headphones. Oh my God, that's the 90s. Probably bought this in 94, 95, somewhere around there. And, yeah. That was, it uses a 12AX7, right? That's why it's called the Valve Effects. Which is kind of a joke, but basically it does use a tube preamp for its distortion. Distortion still kind of sucked. But they had a difference. You could choose difference between analog or digital distortion. Hey, speaking of digital distortion, let me see if I can call it up here. Go to Overloud. I got an email. I'm on their emailing list. I heard through the email list that they have a new V200. There it is. They did a rig. They did a full rig for the Roland GP8. I think that's awesome. The Roland GP8 is now a rig. So if you really love that digital distortion, though it might have been analog distortion back then, I forget. Was it analog distortion with digital effects? And there was like one effect per block. and I don't think you could move the blocks. Right? It was pretty rigid. That was the first. This right here, this starts the. Some would argue it was the Yamaha SPX 90 and 83, but I would say that they call it the Ronald, but the Roland GP8. That, then the ADA MP1 came out. That was the march towards the whole rack system. So anyway, I do have two Digitech. So I'm glad to see Digitech. I never had the what was it, the 256 or the 256 XL. No, what was it? The 21. Was it the 2120? Was that what it was? 2190? No, 2120. What was it? Yeah, 2120. 2120. Another that might have been one of their most successful Digitech products. But at the time, let's see if I can find one. Digitech 2120, right? Yeah. Let's go to images. Yeah. There it is. 2120. Yeah. They had the regular and they had the oddest. That's my oddest. Yeah. Oh, right, the 2112 and then the 2120. Yeah, I thought they had a couple of different iterations. Yeah. God, the 2120. That was a hugely popular product by theirs. I never bought that. I got the valve effects instead. I want to say at the time for the valve effects, I want to say I paid $5.99. And I want to say the 2120. Maybe I paid $7.99 for the valve effects, but I'm pretty sure the valve effects was like $5.99. And this is 1994. I want to say the 2120 was like $8.99. Maybe even $9.99 depending on the model. I feel like they were pricey. I kind of remember it being a fairly expensive product. For the time, of course, you can get one now, $250. But I think back then, I want to say they were $7.99 minimum. But I'm feeling more like $8.99. Art is what the MXR people did, really. I have an X11 pedal board up on a shelf back up there. ART, right? X11 with the little round discs. I should sell that. I have a few pedals like that I should sell. Now that you mention it. You start tearing through things. It's a giant sell-off. 900 or so. That sounds about right. I want to say they were $8.99. Maybe you could get one on sale for, $7.99 or $8.50. But that was like 1991. 1992, 1993. That's a lot of money back then. As a matter of fact, I was looking at, getting a new flagship, keyboard a couple of years ago, and my Kurzweil PC88MX, which at the time cost me like, I don't know, $2,500 in 1994. So I go to look for like replacements. They're all $4,000. And if you do the inflation calculator on the 2,500, it was like a little over $4,000, about 4,100. So it's about the same money, quite frankly, even though it's a lot more money. I wound up going. I wound up lowering my standards. I suddenly didn't need the flagship model for the brands. How about what's your number 2 looking like? Oh, thanks, Robert. No, you know you're the man. No, you rock. Also have the Digitech GNX3 and a Fender amp models. I'll tell you, I was impressed by both the Flamma and the other one there, the Donner. You know, you look at what they cost and the tones they can get. It's like unheard of. You know, especially considering, you know, time value of money and you know, it's like the equivalent of that, you know, back in like the in the late 80s would be like, you know, buying that Donner for like, you know, $99. This probably has like, you know, 1,000 times or maybe even 10,000 times the processing power of what those old, you know, units had in the late 80s. You had a bunch of Digitechs, Ron? I didn't have money. I only had the. I had the one. You know what? I also had ARTs. I went through a bunch of ARTs too because we were an ART dealer. But I always thought the Digitech stuff sounded better, quite frankly, and was cheaper. You know, I'd get those ping pong delays going, man. I thought that sounded really good. And I thought the reverb sounded really good. And I remember running that through like the effects loop on the singer's board, on the mixing board. And we were going through, we were using electronic drums. They showed up and I said, you know what, we can actually go through and just have you sing. And the drummer can actually just play these electronic drums. And they were like stunned because we had been just jamming at like, you know, this other place. And they came over, I go, yeah, you can just play the electronic drums, sing into this mic. And I had the DSP, I think 256 hooked up. And he could not believe how good that sounded. He's like, dude, you know, the drums sounded really good and everybody's running direct. And I think I'm probably going through either like a PV preamp or it could have, yeah, it was probably a PV preamp. I forget now. It had like distortion and like effects built into it. It's kind of like one of those. It was a tube preamp too, kind of like the valve effects, but it was PV, and I got it like 2 or 3 years prior to that Digitech. Was it the Voodoo valve? Was that what it was? A PV Voodoo? Was that it? Hold on. Oh yeah. No. That's a straight up amp. What the hell was the name of that? PV rack preamp. Let me just look that up. All right, Voodoo was Rocktron. Oh my God, Timothy has it. The tube effects. The tube effects, I believe, is the correct answer. That sounds right. That sounds correct. I'm trying to get visual confirmation on the internets. And I ran it through, was it an M80 rack? No, it was a Fender. Yeah, it had like a, it had an LED screen. I remember that. Could have been trans tube. Could have been, was it tube effects? PV, let me look up tube effects. You know, it kind of looks like it. Oh yeah, right, with the little lights and the screen. I think that was it. I think it was the tube effects. That looks like it. I think that was it. That does look like it. I didn't have it for very long, so it's hard to remember. And you know, and it's like you start to confuse it with other. You know, with other products. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything else that's closer than that. You know, I'm just looking at some Google search images here, and nothing's looking as close as that that valve effects, or I mean tube effects. I think that is the correct answer. Because it had a screen, and the Rockmaster has no screen. It looks like it's a straight analog preamp. It's not digital, you know. Anyway. Hey, what's up, Monty? Yeah, BBE Sonic, God, I remember those. We used to sell those, right, the oral exciters. They're all the rage, right? You like Digitech RP because it had my initials? Sure. Yeah, the BBE Stomp. It was at the, yeah, the Aphex Oral Exciter. That was it. And what I forget, was it what was the tech again? I almost feel like it was an EQ or something, or did it put it slightly out of phase or something? I forget the tech. It felt like an EQ. They studied it and they said that basically it introduced like distortion. And but people perceived it as being like brighter. Yeah, the BBE maximizer. Oh God, and everything was so damn expensive. like ridiculously expensive. A lot of people in the 80s use those sonic maximizers, yeah. Oh, I think I might have. I feel like it became like a part of like every rack effect, right? Like sonic maximizer was like one of the effects you could turn on. I'm looking out for your next guitar. I haven't bought anything since in December, and it's February already. Yeah, you're behind, man. BBE was time aligned. Yeah. Still have a BBE sitting around, sure. Yeah, the Earth does have a coil tab. Here's the double coil, single coil. So, you guys watched the Grammys last week? I can't watch them in real time. In fact, I can't really watch any awards show in real time. I'll watch the Super Bowl in real time. But most of the time, any awards show, any like show finale or anything like that, gotta watch it on DVR. Got to start at about 2 hours in, maybe 2.5 hours in, because you're gonna be flooded with commercials. There's gonna be countless terrible moments that you're just gonna want to fast forward over. Just gonna happen, right? So you're looking for something interesting. So I watched the Grammys. Admittedly, I fast forwarded over like 90% of it. I have a with that Fios 1, it's just one click, it jumps you ahead 30 seconds. So I just click. Anything, how about now? How about now? How about now? Right? I'm just forever going through. And the only thing, there was a couple of things I thought were pretty good. I did like, Stevie Wonder showed that, first of all, the guy doesn't age. He looked amazing. And two, he can still sing his ass off. God, Stevie Wonder sounded so friggin' good. And same with, what's his name there? Smokey Robinson. You know, the guy is, you know, he's up there. You know, his big hit was in the 60s. And Jesus, if he didn't look friggin' amazing. And sounded really good, you know. But that was about it. You know, I think Brandy Carlisle did something, but I got bored pretty quickly and fast-forwarded over it. And they didn't do any rock awards. And I didn't really listen to any speeches. I didn't really watch anything. I just kept fast-forwarding until I could come on to something. And really nothing came up. They did a tribute to hip-hop, which I get. But, you know, did it have to be 15 minutes long? It felt like it went on for like 5 minutes too long. Could have done a tighter 10 minutes, and I just felt like it would have been a much better, you know, retrospective than trying to cram every possible artist in there. And it's like 15 minutes. It's like, gee, it really, towards the end, it was, you know, because I kept fast forwarding. And so, you start to get a sense for like how many clicks, like something is. Like if it's a if you're watching like a big movie, right? That's you know, on like some cable station, it's always 8 to 10 clicks, right? It's 30 seconds a click. That's 4 to 5 minutes for a commercial break, like every time. So if you're lucky, it's 6 clicks, you 3-minute break, but that's rare. It's usually 4 to 5 minutes is every single break. So you start to get used to timing, like how long things are. And it took 30 goddamn clicks to get past that. 30 clicks. I'm going, it's got to be over now. Click. Now, oh my God, it's still going. Click. Oh my God, it's still going. Click. You know, how many goddamn clicks is this going to take? It was like so bad, you know? So anyway, you know, and maybe they mix it up. I don't know, but I just felt like it was just so much concentrated on R&B and pop and hip hop. They couldn't do one. You couldn't do one of the 3 rock awards. You know. Oh, Nelson, gifted 5. Look at you. Wow. Nelson, that's crazy. Look at you. Very generous. Welcome aboard, guys. Now you can use the special emojis. What is it? Colon SFB, and then all the special icons will come up. All right, you type in 2 dots and SFB, and then all the, right, they'll show up. Yeah. Yeah, BC Rich found it. There it is. It's okay. Welcome, Knees Hurt. Yep, channel members, fence construction. In fact, we're going to have to paint the fence soon. And by we, I mean you. Yeah, thanks again, Nelson. Buddy Cat. Yeah. So you could have done Clammy. It's the new Kramer SM1 made in Indonesia. I think so. We'll check Sweetwater, see if we can see it on the back of the guitar. Kramer SM1. Let's go right there. I gotta say, that Caribbean, it looks dank in person. Look at that. It's pretty smoking hot. And they got a bunch in. So let's look on the back of the headstockerino. I mean, I'm no detective, but I'm detecting a clue. Looking at these up here, which one are you going to go with? You know, just looking at these tops. That one, this one? Just got the better top. That one. I actually think that's more consistent. Yeah, see, that's consistent on that side, but less so on that side. Again, consistent, but I don't think quite as robust as this one. I think that's the best top of the four. Right there. Right. And then the Caribbean. I think these other two tops look better. Right? Look at that. That's dank. That's pretty good too. I still think the best one. I still think it's that one. Is it this one? No, because it's a little softer up there. See, there's a little wide gap. Right, you got a couple of gappers. I think that's, see, that's all even. A little more even. Yeah, no, I'm going with 490. That's a laminate. That's a laminate top. That's by, oh yeah, it's absolutely a laminate. It's a, what would you call that? A, you know the word. Not laminate. It's a, veneer. Thank you, Ron. Oh, Vimps, new guitar fund. Hey, speaking of new guitars, let me see if I can find it. Tone King sent me this link the other day. Thank you, Vimps. Much appreciated. Yeah. So he sends me a link. Tone King does. And I want to say it's to, yeah. It's to like, this guitar. He goes, dude, he was like, they're selling, what was that, what was that freaking guy? Well, that guy, he's a maniac. Some dudes liked him. I always thought he was a bit of a used car salesman, but he, you know what I'm saying? He had, Ed Roman. Thank you, Vampiric Spirit, Ed Roman. So he goes, dude, there's dudes on eBay. He goes, they're doing like Ed Roman's, like of all the guys to defend. But he really likes the Ed Roman stuff, and so he finds that. Hold on, I'll get a couple other ones here. I'll make sure I get the right ones. So then I'm looking, and I see, because I've looked at that, I get suggested this, right? Sort of like a like an 80s. Like you can kind of see the thought process, right? If you're into that Ed Roman guitar, maybe you're into like 80s stuff. So they have this, which is clearly just a copy of, you know, the old you know, Michael Anthony bass, right? The Mikey bass. So I'm like, huh, that's interesting, right? So from that, again, like one thing is leading to another. that leads to this guitar. Right there. Right? Now, it doesn't have a brand on the headstock. And it doesn't look like it's been, if you look closely at the headstock, and I have, it doesn't look like it's been modified. I think that this type of Gibson, they put Gibson on the plate and they just put a blank plate on it. Right? Isn't that what just happened? Right? So you say to yourself, now that other one was shipped from China. So you're like, oh, right, so this is, but it doesn't say made in USA on the back of the headstock, and it does not look like it's been photoshopped. Right? In fact, there's a little quality control sticker there. So they're not, I don't know that they're tuning the counterfeit thing other than just the shape. I think this is like, they're trying to get away with just the shape. But you look where it's shipping from, and it ships out of California. The calls are coming from inside the house. This isn't a ship from China. This is a ship from LA. Sort of knockoff. Which I just think the guy is buying the Chinese knockoff that probably says Gibson on the plate. And the guy just changes the plate. Double neck, yeah, the Vinnie Vincent stuff. Hold on. I did see some double neck stuff in there too. They, you get a whole bunch of like this showed up. Right? You like what you would call like a novelty guitar, right? It's like it's a Gibson, but it's not a Gibson. Is it a Hamer? Is it like a tribute to, Rick Nielsen? This one also ships out of California. That's not shipping out of China, which is just, a little odd. Let me show you what else they have here. Hold on. Yeah. So this is the one that really raises the suspicions. This one looks innocent enough, except those horns are way too close to the real one, right? They're not far enough apart from each other, so already is a problem. It's got that decal that's clearly a copy of the Gibson decal. And none of the photos show the headstock. The headstock is conveniently cut out of every single photo. Again, it just feels to me like eBay has slowly and quietly become, right, because this is coming from China. Most of them seem to be coming from China. But like, as I just showed you, some of them are coming from LA. That Rick Nielsen was LA. That other V was LA. The base was China. The Ed Roman copy was China. Hold on, we'll grab a couple more here. I'll show them to you. Again, I'm not on trade trading's long gone, but I'm not on Alibaba or anything like that. This is straight up, this is eBay. Again, just sort of pretty much the Gibson shape. This one's got a Floyd Rose, it's more modified, and a pointy headstock. But, still has the general shape of the Gibson, even though it does have the Floyd Rose copy. It's a god-awful Floyd Rose. Where does this ship out of China? All right, that's shipping out of China. What about this? Again, same thing, sort of like a black. And it doesn't look like it's been photoshopped. I swear to God, they just changed the plate or they make the plate blank. Because I'm not seeing a photoshopping of the headstock to cover up the word Gibson. Right? They usually do pretty bad photoshopping. This is in California. There's another Cali. Here's another Cali for you. And yeah, like that. I mean, Jesus. $299 for a red electric quilted maple top guitar. It's just a red electric guitar. You know? And again, I'm noticing very carefully they don't show the headstock. So what does that say? They sold one, they had two, one sold, one left. This is shipping out of California. Should we order one of these for next week? Look at that thing. This. Again, this one's in Cali too. You know, what's that, ESP? Oh no, these things, they always look good, but the quality is always pretty bad. You know. I could just see that bridges. Those are terrible bridges. And then when you go to replace the bridge, you realize that, you know, the bridge you have that you're trying to replace it with doesn't fit, doesn't line up. You know, they're a nightmare to try and mod. You know. But again, I'm not seeing a picture of that headstock. A glaring omission in that ad. Ships from California. So it appears that the trade continues on. Yeah, it's just an artistic guitar. Calm down. Yeah, I know. Van Halen won 45 years ago yesterday. It's crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, let's read the feedback. Good product and on-time shipping. Nice. I was skeptical at first, but received brand new item as described. Good QC from the factory. What did he go with? One of those. What's that supposed to be, a Novo? That's what one of them bought. And it does say one sold. And you can see that the veneer, see that? You see the part that's not covered right there? That's a tricky spot. Not going to lie, it's a little tricky right there. We didn't quite have enough to do the whole thing. We're just going to leave that little part open. And then what was the... This was the other one. Charvel? Yeah, like a Charvel style. That was the other sale. I'm not seeing... Well, there's a headstock, but it's the back. Got the shape. It's got the shape. Oh my God, look at that hard back, though. Look at those, you know, I don't know. I don't know too many Strats with they got cut out on a bandsaw like that. Look at that. That's more like what, like an Aerodyne. Oh yeah, look at that. That's freaking hard edged. That's crazy. How much was it? $2.99. One sold. Your Chinese guitars still hold up 10 years later. Oh yeah. I should do a video on that. Chinese guitars, actually it's 12 years later. They still work. Still fine. I'd have to change the strings, though. I don't think I've ever changed the strings on them in all that time. Put a new set of strings on it, maybe clean it up a little bit. They still work. Despite countless prognostications about how they wouldn't, they somehow still do. That thing's going to fall apart in a year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. That thing will be falling apart, and you'll be crying. Boo-hoo. Okay. Well, it's been 12 years. So far, so good. The only one that I really like of all of them is the Iommi. The Iommi, which could still use new pickups. The pickups in it are garbage. But that one I do like. I do like that guitar. 24 frets, ebony fretboard. And, you know, you can just tell that one's a little nicer than the other ones. Whatever factory made that one, a little better, a little nicer. Thoughts on phosphor bronze for strings? You know what? I like phosphor bronze, I think, more on electric acoustics, and I like straight up 80-20 bronze on just straight up acoustics. But I find that when I use 80-20 on acoustic electrics, it's a little too bright. I think I like phosphor better. Any news on that Axifex deal? Still nothing. Still nothing. Come on, guys. We're both from New England, right? They're from New Hampshire. I'm from Massachusetts. Come on. Still nothing. What gauge strings are good for metal? I use 10s, but a lot of people use 9s. Probably the most popular string diameter. Some dudes, Iommi went real thin, right? He like 8s and 7s because of his fingers, and he got a pretty good sound. You just go with it. Sometimes when I go, you would think that if you go thinner, it's just easier to play, and easier to play is easier to play, but it's not. They do. I'd probably have to get used to it, but it just doesn't. It doesn't feel right. Right. I find myself going back to 9s and 10s whenever I go less than that. Yeah, I don't like flats. I've tried flats. Flat wound strings. So you got to remember the flat wound strings don't vibrate nearly as much as round wound. The reason why round wound strings are round wound is because they're more flexible. Flat wound, they're stiffer. Right, because they can't bend round wound strings have more bend points because my flat wound strings they don't bend as easily. So they vibrate very differently, almost a little deader, right? Because they don't vibrate quite as much. It's where round wound are really quite the technological advancement. What's up, Craig? Yeah, I tend to use so these are 10s. Most of my strats and strat style and telly style tend to be 10s. I'll use 9s on some of my Ibanez guitars, though. They just feel more right with 9s, instead of 10s. And I'm trying to think. I think I had a couple of Squires I was putting 9s on because I thought they felt better on the Squire. But it might have been just that I didn't want to waste my 10s on it. Don't discount that. I have not tried NYXLs. I have tried the Paradigms by Ernie Ball, though, which is, I think, the same thing, right? Sort of a longer lasting anti-break. They don't break, they last longer. I've never used String Joy. I'm with Ernie Ball. Usually tune to E flat. That makes a big difference. If you're tuning down, you definitely need to go with a thicker string, or then they're really going to feel slinky. Without a doubt. I tend to tune to E standard or E flat. I don't really go much below that. I don't think this is a Godot trim. I doubt it. It's not a very expensive guitar. I would remember that if they were Godot. You know what is Godot? For my Vola stuff. All 3 Volas are mainly use Godot hardware. And I love the friggin' tuners. God, those Godot tuners are so nice. The balance tension. I usually, you go around on strings, but I always wind up going back to 9s and 10s. And it's always either Diodario or Didario, as I found out they're pronounced, or Ernie Ball right now, but mainly using Ernie Ball. What happened to friggin' Clear Tone? They were the hottest thing 10 years ago. Clear Tone, if I recall correctly, used the guy had come from the diving industry, and there's, I guess, a treatment process for diving gear to keep it from oxidizing or decaying in the ocean. I'd sort of weatherproof the gear, and he just took that and moved it to strings. But yeah, I haven't heard about. Are they still around? Let's just do a quick, just a quick look. Yeah, clear tone strings. Oh yeah, no, they still have a website. Oh yeah. Yeah, clear tone. Is that Rob Scallon? Artist signature sets. There's the Rob Scallon signature set. He's the only one I recognize. Chevelle, I don't know who they are. Atreyu, I have no idea. God bless you. Sounds like a sneeze. These guys. I don't know. That's no, I have no idea. Do. Yeah, boiling the bass strings. I don't know if that ever really worked. You know, a lot of that was just, you'd read something in a magazine, aka the old internet. Chevelle look great, I'd like them, okay. I'm sure they are. There's too many bands. Just like there's too many guitars. There's too many everything. Yeah, boiling was a Van Halen thing. But even that, you know, Van Halen famously used to just, you know, I feel like he would say one thing and then it would just turn into like legend. When it might have happened like once or twice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who knows how often it really happened. Even if at all. Yeah, boy, we'll clean the gunk off it for sure. Well, maybe a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, Larry. Boil them in the microwave? Sure. Wrap them. Don't forget to wrap them in a paper towel first. So you know what was on the other day? I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's one of my favorite movies because it is just so bad. It is just awesome. And that is the original 1966 Batman movie. The Batman movie. Where Penguin, the Joker, Riddler, and Catwoman joined together. Right, Schmidlap's the name. And it was on HBO, so no commercial interruptions. And although they didn't have it, I've seen it in other years where they did the full-on widescreen, you know. But this was regular, 185 instead of 2.35. But the shark, when he comes up out of the water, the shark's on his leg, and you can see all the water draining out of that rubber shark. Oh, it's the best. And then Robin comes down and does this crazy acrobatic move. You can't just come down and hand it to him. He's got to put his legs down and tumble back going. It's so bad, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? He does the dehydrator and the rehydrator. It's so bad. And then when he finds out that his girlfriend there, Natasha Katinka there, is actually Catwoman when he finally puts it together. Just how sad. Adam West really plays it up. And they play the music as he stares off. So sad. I'm like, this movie is the friggin' best. Yeah. Oh no, when you're a kid, when I was a kid and I see the Batcopter go out and the Batcopter has the bat wings. Didn't have that in the regular show. The Batcopter in the regular show, I don't ever remember it having the wings. Now all of a sudden the Batcopter's in the movie and it's got these awesome like bat wings on the side. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. But running around with the bomb, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. The best. The friggin' best. Like so friggin' bad. Then there's all the riddles, and then it has like the world's worst answers, and when they're trying to figure it all out, and it's all like a big bad joke. Oh, Joker? It's all like some bad riddle. Riddler? Oh, they're earning it. Yeah, and then they do a big, the final, big fight scene. They finally break out their kerplunks and the kapows and, all the stuff that made the Batman TV show. Oh yeah, Godzilla Marathon on Pluto TV. I had recorded a bunch recently, but I already watched them. I have one left, which is Monster Zero. Godzilla versus Monster Zero, or Monster, yeah. Or just called Monster Zero. That's an amazing one because one guy is clearly American, this blonde dude, like a John Wayne type, who does all his lines in English, and everyone else is overdubbed. And I'm sure they overdubbed his lines in, Japanese in the original theatrical run. But that's so bad too. He accidentally hydrates the henchman with heavy water instead of light, soft water. So when they get in the fight, they instantly disappear as they turn from matter to antimatter. Like, of course. That's just science. Yeah, Baby Godzilla is the best. Now, is that Destroy All Monsters? I'm trying to think of where the Baby Godzilla is from. Is that, it doesn't have a name, is it like Snooky or something? Pookie? It's got a name. Yeah, Destroy All Monsters, right? Yeah. Yeah, Monster Island, right. Oh yeah, I blow smoke rings? I didn't even notice that. Do. Godzuki was Godzilla's nephew. What's up, Ed? I don't think I've ever played a Fender Player Mexico. I'm sure they're just fine, though. Never met Shatner. Asked him a question once at a convention, and you met James Doohan. There you go. Really just hammered. Wow. I went to my wife was a reporter, and she got us, I was the photographer that she just brought me because they didn't want to send a photographer, but there was a Star Trek convention in town. She got a sign to cover it. So we go in, and Jonathan Frakes is like up there. And I sort of work my way down because I have a press pass, like down front to take some photos. And I'm sort of like kneeling down. I don't want to block anyone. And Jonathan Frakes sort of finishes up. He's funny. He's got the crowd all laughing. He's very, charming and outgoing and making jokes about Patrick Stewart and just, right? And but we only catch like the last 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of his appearance. And then, what's her name? Marina Sirtis comes out. It was bizarre. I think in the day of cell phones, if there was a cell phone, if this was the time of cell phones, this was the type of thing that would have like blown up on Twitter, right? And of course, back then it's a film camera. It's not a digital camera. And she comes out and she's all angry. She is like rip shit. and she's going, and we were just driving, like, she kind of gets a little racist. She basically saying how her taxi cab driver couldn't speak English, and they kept driving around the building, and he didn't know where to go, and she's like very angry. And like at some point she goes like, and she's all upset, and I mean like really angry. And then all these like I forget what happened first. I think what happened was that she said, when she was complaining about the taxi cab driver who couldn't speak English driving her around the building, she said, and it's my birthday. And spontaneously, the crowd started to sing happy birthday to her. And it built to the very crescendo in the end with a big cheer. And she went, oh, great, thanks. Don't quit your day jobs. And I look at my then girlfriend, my now wife, and they go, is she for real? What is going on here? I mean, this was straight out of an SNL skit. And all these little girls go running down from all over. And they're all dressed like Troy. And she goes, oh, yeah, well, here come all the little Troys. Okay, great. Here's the little Troys. And I'm going like, oh, my God. These are like kids. What are you doing? It was unbelievable. I think that in the day of, and I'm surprised that was never caught on camera, that nobody in the audience, it was at the Heinz Auditorium, that nobody in the audience had a video camera, and that somehow never made it out. I should look that up on YouTube. Marina Sirtis, like has meltdown at like convention, because it really did feel like a friggin' meltdown. It's like, you're like, is this a joke? I'm like, I think she's genuinely pissed. I think she doesn't want to be there. And I think she's very angry right now. Oh my God. Oh, Brooks, you might have been right. She might have been drunk. Oh my God. Yeah. Because you know what? She might have sounded a little bit like an angry drunk. Oh my God, that's very insight. That might have been true. You wonder if that's exactly what it was, right? She had been drinking. She's got to go to this thing. And she shows up a little hammered. And she's just, the true feelings start to come out, because it was just, when I tell you, and people are sort of laughing and going along with it. I was waiting for people to start booing and go like, oh, enough. Because it was so bad. I was like, wow. Wow, this is like an epic meltdown. That would make sense that she was a little tipsy. Though I didn't sense it. But you don't have to be. You don't have to be slurring your speech. You can just be enough to be just a little angry. 'Cause that's how it came off. Oh my God, she was like, we left. We didn't stick around. My wife was like, what do you think? I go, I don't think I can take any more abuse. Like, let's get out of here. And we wound up getting the hell out of there, and like going to lunch. We had enough photos, and she had enough to write her story. Man, that was so bizarre, though. I'll never forget that. Marina Sirtis. Again, Frakes is killing the room. Big smile, and he's got these jokes. Everyone's loving him. We just at the very end of them. And she comes out, and oh my God, what a train wreck. What a goddamn train wreck. Whenever she like said to the little girls, oh, here come the little Troys. Okay, all right, here we go. Oh. Like, oh my God. Way to shit all over your fans. Yeah, what's your birthday? Look up. Was it in the winter? Let's look up. Let's look up Marina Sirtis. Let's see when her birthday is. I'm gonna guess it's in the winter. I feel like it was cold out. Yeah, born the 29th of March, 1955. It was probably the 29th of March, 1995. It was their 40th. In fact, I don't even think was it in the 90s? So, we're living in Woburn at the time. I think the series was over. I think the series was already over in like 92, right? So they're on to the movies by 92, right? The show ended in 94. It ends in the 90s, early 90s. It's over. And they move on to the friggin', I want to say they were already on to the movies by like 94. And that the show's over in like 92. Yeah. Let's see. Marina Sirtis. Angry at convention. Huh? She punched a fan in 2021. She called it cheeky. Punching a fan, midst of punching a fan at a convention. That's pretty recent. Was she really rude at some conventions? Yeah. She really was. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so Generations came out in 94. that was on recently. Didn't hold up. I think First Contact is a little better. And then, all the movies, the next-gen movies were pretty weak. Then what was it? Nemesis, and then the last one is, or was Nemesis the last one? And I forget the order now. There's 4, right? Yeah, and then there's a single coil. Yeah, Insurrection, that's the one I couldn't think of. That's the third. Did you see the review? Did you see the review on, I think, Engadget for the Picard Season 3? They said, don't watch it, it'll just encourage them. Now that's a review. He's like, I'm pleading with you, do not watch it. The problem with Picard is that, like, it's one of the big Starfleet Academy buildings is the NAMM show. It's at the Anaheim Convention Center. It's on that big walk as you walk up, which is a beautiful walk. You can see why they used the building. It's a very modern-looking building, but I can't help but see the NAMM show when I look at that friggin' building. The best new Star Trek is Strange New Worlds. Interesting. Oh yeah, Quinn, did you get to meet Ed through Peavy? That would have been pretty cool. Yeah, exactly, Paul. Now you have to go wear a comm badge in a full uniform. He's in a although you don't want to be some unknown red shirt on the friggin' deck. You're almost certainly dying on the away mission, right? Wasn't that the right Sam Rockwell? Right, they do the Galaxy Quest. He didn't want to get left behind because he thought that he'd die on the ship. So he like demands to go like on the away mission. Then he's like halfway through the away mission. He's like, I want to go back. I'm going to be the crew member who dies on the away mission because nobody knows me. Nobody knows me. And they're like, oh, will you calm down? You're going to be fine. He's like, what's my name? What's my name? Which is so true, right? I mean, they're like, oh, you'll be fine. You see, I tell you, Sam Rockwell is in a great sci-fi movie. You ever see Moon? Sort of harkens back to like the old slow burn, like 70s sci-fi flicks, you know? Where he's alone. He's on the moon. He's a miner. And he's out in like the moon buggy. And there's a crash. He's injured and he wakes up in the infirmary, and he's got like the robo attendants, and they're like, "Yeah, there was a crash." He's like, "Really?" And he wants to go out and check the crash site, but they don't want to let him, and he kind of tricks them into letting them out. And he makes his way over to the crash vehicle, and inside there's a person. He brings him back to the base, and it's him. It's a clone. And they start to sort of, at first they're accusing each other of being the clone, but one of the clones looks much worse, and it's starting to fall apart. The one that he rescued from the truck. Like teeth are falling out, he's coughing up blood. It's a slow burn, but it's actually a pretty good movie. Yeah, I think Kevin Spacey is the voice of the Robo, right? The emoji-wielding robot. It was, it's good. They sort of figure it out. First of all, I thought it was a great performance by Sam Rockwell. He plays every, part, every human part. And then, he's playing two different characters in two different states. It must have had to do makeup to, make them look so different. And, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I didn't hate it, which is that's my highest rating. Who do you guys like tomorrow in the big game? The Celtics or the Bucks? Part of me, I think the Eagles, the Eagles have looked really good this year, but it's so hard. It's like betting against Brady. It's like you don't want to bet against Mahomes. He's shown himself to be, especially if his leg is healed. The Chefs, KC, Chefs, Celtics, Eagles. What am I using today? I'm using THU. I'm in single coil mode right now, though. Here's the double. This is single coil. That's my standard patch, Michael, you going for Celtics? Yeah, remember that Moon movie, Retro Puffer? You know, HBO's got it recently. That's why I see the HBO movies. I hadn't seen it. Like the Eagles. It's like betting against Marsha Brady. Marsha. Not even rooting for the halftime show. Yeah, who's it, Rihanna? It'll be a spectacle. Polychrome DSP, I have not. Oh yeah, no, everyone knows Green Bay is a it's stockholder, right? The stockholder held, it's right. There's shareholders. Oh yeah, HBO has some good Hammer movies. Yeah, they had that Batman movie, which I like. What's so funny is that when I went to the movie to see it, it's so bizarre. When I went to see the movie on HBO, when I tuned to it, it was clearly the Batman from 2022 or 2021, right? The newest Batman movie. And I was like, what the frick? But the info for the movie is like Batman 1966, Burt Ward, you know, and Adam West, and, you know, Eartha Kitt, or whoever it was, I forget. Not Eartha Kitt, I forget who it was, but, you know, it's like, it's you know, Burgess Meredith. I can see that it's the right lineup. Cesar Romero. And who refused to shave his mustache. Got a mustache under that makeup. So HBO is a thing where you can just press play on my thing. It'll play it from the beginning. And even though it was playing the Batman for the movie, when I pressed play, it actually played the original Batman. Yeah, Lee Merriweather, right? What you need is a manager. Come on, Rocky. You need a manager. Was Lee Merriweather in the 66 movie? I thought it was Burgess Meredith, no? Could have been. Now there's a sticker on it. What, on the side? Actually, it's not a used one. It was a clearance. And we bought that in, I want to say, Christmas of 2000. Yeah, Christmas 2000. And $3.99. I think $3.99. They started out at like $12.99, $9.99. Then they were blowing them out for like $5.99. I almost bought one too, brand new, $5.99. Then they were $4.99. And then they had a clearance, which it might have been an open box or something, but it was like brand new. And $3.99 was what I think I paid for that. Lee Merriweather and Burgess are in the 66 movie. Oh, Lee is the Catwoman. Yeah. Yeah. I do like Andy Timmons. Can't play like him. See if you think the T380 would benefit from the addition of a Vega trim. Possibly, but I don't think the Vega, how much are the Vega trims? I think they're around, what are they, $250? They're not an inexpensive trim. You wonder how much money you want to sink into it. Oop, wrong one. Going here. I don't really use the trim on guitars that don't have locking trims all that much. You know, if it's not a locking trim, I never really use it. Oh. What bands are you in? Of course, you can never forget Mega Man of Wargasm. That band was legendary. It was every band you hated, all rolled into one. Megadeth, Man of War, and Wargasm. All together. At last. Mega Man of Wargasm. Yeah, I know. When you think, I was thinking it was Eartha Kitt, but you know, you're right, Lee Merriweather. Yeah. Of course, was in the cover band, the tribute band Stripper Girl, which was a tribute band, the Steel Panther tribute band, but we weren't a tribute band of Steel Panther. We were a tribute to a girl from Oklahoma. We were a tribute to the tribute. not a reggae tribute band. I hate to say it, but it's been done. What gear did I use back in the day? I mainly used Fender amps and Kramer or Ibanez guitars. Had a few Fenders, but really I'd use the Fenders didn't really translate. I liked them around the house, but I think when you're live, they're too noisy. You know, especially in crappy clubs. So I definitely use the Ibanez guitars and the Kramer guitars more live. Thoughts on Samantha Fish? I don't know that. I've seen her a couple times, but I don't really know much of her stuff. She seems like a legit player, though. Should I do a Super Bowl halftime show? You can come on and check my live during the halftime. You know, I do like the oversized dots. I feel like this camera's like extra dark tonight, huh? Can we what am I doing on the... Oh, no, that's right. Oh, my God, I just touched it. I swear to God, it gets stuck a little... It's a little better, though, right? A little bit. Well, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. I feel like he was getting really crushed. I like the oversized dot inlays, too. Big fan of that. I have like 3 guitars, 3 Strats with the oversized dot. I seem to go for that. The mother of pearl oversize, a slightly larger and mop. I always look tan. I'm very tan. Well, let's see. How's my tan doing? Not bad. I was just out in the yard. God, it was gorgeous out. A week ago, it was so friggin' cold, right? Like blistering cold. And then, cut 7 days later, and we have like record warmth. It hit like 60 degrees yesterday. Like friggin' amazing. I washed the cars and did a bunch of yard work. You know what else I did? We finally got supply chain issues. Couldn't find. We could get one, but we couldn't get one on sale. It's a new bidet toilet seat. You know, we had one for 5 years, six years, almost 6 years, and the thing just died. You could hear it running, but the motor wouldn't send the wand out anymore to spray the water up. It has a retractable arm. So you'd hit it, and you'd hear the water like falling down into the toilet, and the arm wouldn't come out. It's like, it was broken. Couldn't fix it. And then at one point, I like reset it, and I thought I fixed it, but very quickly it went back to its old behavior again. It couldn't send the wand out anymore. So we tried 2 other brands, and both of them wouldn't fit the friggin' toilet. What a nightmare. And they're like, fits most toilets. I'm like, it's an American standard. Standard. It's like, literally like the world's best-selling toilet. A friggin' American standard. You know, like Cadet. It is like literally like the world's best-selling friggin' toilet. And they're like, yeah, we don't fit that. So we had to send a couple of them back. And then finally, of all places, Walmart had them on sale. And we were able to get the same brand. Fit, no problem. Plugged in, no problem. Oh, my God. You miss it, man. You friggin' miss it. Let me tell you. Yeah, it crapped out on me. But that's all good now. I tell you, once you go to the undercarriage, full-on wash, it feels barbaric to go down there with toilet paper and clean up. Like, oh, God, that's fucking gross. I want to do that. Hey, let me know when it's over, and I'll get out and dry the area, and I'll be done. It's like night and day. God, it's so much easier. And you know what? My ass is worth it. What brand? Brondell Swash. That fits our toilet, no problem. And we got literally the most expensive model they had, like $700 model. But Walmart had it for under $500, and you could tell it's total premium. And it adds a night light, which is a nice touch. Yeah, 3 seashells or nothing. That was the Sandra Bullock, Sylvester Stallone project, right? We've been wanting to work together for years. It does not make a wet pooey mess all over. It does not. It is the friggin' best, man. I tell you, when it's gone, you miss it. Let me tell you, you miss it. You're like, God, what a nightmare. But no, we finally got it. We finally got one, and it showed up on I think Thursday. I had it installed the same day. It's once you've done it once, they're so easy to install. It's pretty easy. You got to drain the toilet. You got to drain the bowl out of the back of the toilet. And then you just disconnect the line, which was easy for me because I don't have if you have the certain plumbers, they'll put a solid line in the toilet, which is the pro way to do it. But I had a flex line, pull the solid line out. We had a flex line coming out of the wall. And in matter of fact, I had put in, I had gone from the last time we had done water work in there, we put in a nice little quarter turn valve. So, boom, off, on. So, turn the water off. Boom, nice, easy. Flush the toilet until it's completely empty. And then you add a T-valve. That's it. Throw a T-valve on. And then the T-valve just has an extra thing on the side. Attach that to the toilet. You mount the mounting bracket. Put the toilet on. Attach the water. Turn the water on. Plug her in. Be good to go. Probably took total, between taking out the old one and putting in the new one, 20 minutes. The guitar chat just went down the toilet. It happens. Cold wash? No way. If you get a cheap one, that's the thing. You have to live in a very warm area. If you want to use, they have ones that are very cheap. You could buy a bidet toilet seat that just works on valves and just uses just water. But you have to live in a place where the water temperature is pretty mild, you know. Up here, the water is just a few degrees above freezing in the winter. The water coming out of that tap is like 35, 36 degrees. That'll wake you up. No, it actually runs through a heater. It's got a large block heater, right? Kind of like the way, like an under the sink endless heater works. You know, your endless hot water heater, and it provides endless hot water, which is why people complain. They're like, geez, when I turn it on, I hear a bunch of water gushing out. Yeah, because it's warming the water up. It's making sure it's driving the cold water out. It doesn't run the heater all the time, turning the heater on. It waits until the water hits a certain temperature, and then it releases it out through the sprayer. But if it did it immediately, it would start out as ice cold and then slowly warm up. And, it's a bit of a shock, so they don't do that. Well water, very cold water all the time. Exactly. That's going to be an eye-opener. But I'll tell you this much, too. It's a heated toilet seat. Right? The seat has it's got sensors in it, when you sit down, so it can never, spray water out, right? So no one can just hit the remote and just have it squirt water out into the middle of the room in case you have like little kids. You actually have to be sitting on it like a capacitance, right? You have to be able to trigger a sensor, right? And it's heated. And let me tell you, in the winter, when you're so used to going up to that bathroom and sitting down on that heated seat, when it broke and I put in a regular toilet seat until we could get the replacement, you sit on that seat, you're like, oh my God, it's like sitting on a goddamn ice cube. You forget, you get used to it. You're like, oh, right, that seat was heated. All right, it's just a plain old friggin' plastic seat. Jesus. Hello, Terry. In the Philippines, yeah. You know what? You see them a lot more outside of the U.S. It's not a huge thing in the U.S. In Europe, they're everywhere. When we went to Costa Rica, they were everywhere. It just depends on your area, but a lot of places use bidets because you don't have to rip through toilet paper. They have plenty of water. The one thing they got is water everywhere, especially in Costa Rica. God, it rained like every day. Who do you got for the Super Duper Bowl? I think I'm going KC. It's hard though because part of me think like the Eagles have looked good. I thought of all the teams playing in the lead up to the Super Bowl, like I thought the Eagles looked very together, like they were like firing on all cylinders. So we'll see, but it's hard to bet against Mahomes. He's like one of those guys who's just, he's hard to bet against. Drip dry. Well, that's the thing the one we have and most of the expensive ones have a blow dryer in it. They're the worst. No one ever uses the blow dryer. You pretty much escaped from using pretty much almost any toilet paper. Just use a little bit of toilet paper and dry off. But the blow dryer is the air is too hot or it's too cold. It's already stinky anyway. You're just blowing stink around. It's a terrible idea. I know they're trying to go full on eco-friendly, but how eco-friendly is a hot air dryer? It can't be that eco-friendly. Just use the friggin' paper. Mahomes has been hurt, but there's been a 2-week break. And I know his type of injury, a high ankle sprain, isn't the type of thing that heals, but, he'll get shot up. He'll be taped up. I know what you're saying. He is, that's the X factor. What was the brand of the bidet? The one we have is Brondell, the Swash, the Brondell Swash series. So the one we had was like the Swash 1000, which was their like best model. And since then they've come out with the 1400, which is even better, which is the one we wound up getting. It's like it seems like it's the exact same model, except the remote has 2 user settings, so you can have user 1 and user 2 if you like 2 different settings, kind of like in your car when you set the seat like a certain way. Like you want the pressure, you want the valve at a certain place, you want the pressure to be a certain pressure, whatever. You can set that for 2 different users. Other than that, it looks to be almost like the identical unit, But they make another one, a thin line, and we were looking at the thin line, but it had terrible ratings. It was universally panned, whereas the one that we had, the 1000, got great ratings, a near 5.0 rating. But the other one couldn't even hit 4.0. So it was like, just skip that one. It seemed like people didn't like it. They said thin line, they're like more like thin and flimsy. So it didn't do that well. So the 1400 is almost identical. It looks exactly the same, but the remote is more advanced, and they claim it's more advanced, but whatever. Steve Stein and Marty Shorts. Well, I'm good friends with Steve Stein, so I'm going with the Stein. With the Stein, I'm with the Stein way. Actually, Steve Stein was really helpful when we were learning all those tunes for that Germany gig. The gig at the Deutsche Bank Stadium in Frankfurt. That was good. That was fun time. All right, dudes. It is 9:02 p.m. I can hear a slight rustling happening above my head. Sounds like people want to get out and about. So we're gonna call it a night. Do I have a fresh pot of coffee? I don't think I do. I'll have to check. I think we're getting down there. That does not bode well for later. But we also tried to put an ignition system in a car in the Impala this week, and no go. Wouldn't take the code. So I ordered a second ignition. We'll see if it works any better. Big pain in the ass. All right, dudes. No, you rock. Super thanks to anyone who hung out tonight. Super extra special thanks to anyone who contributed, and special thanks to Nelson for all those gift memberships. Think of the name. That's super generous. And there you go. I will see you guys at the very least in a week, but maybe sooner. You never know. All right, dudes. No, you rock. And we'll do it all over again a week from now. And there you go. And in the meantime, just feel good knowing that my ass will be showered with a fierce undercarriage spray. Gotta love it. All right, dude. No, you rock. I'll see you guys in a week. And until then, rock on.